Well, we've just completed Jeremiah, Lamentations, Habakkuk, Daniel, Ezekiel, covering a period from 627 back to 536. And we went from 536 all the way down to the 400 silent years. We've covered 200 of the 400 years of prophets. And today we're going to be looking at Zephaniah. Again, it's very short. It's like Habakkuk. It's only 3 chapters long, but very interesting because it opens up with the word of the Lord came to Zephaniah. And he starts right out with a phrase that we've all heard. We don't expect to hear it so much in the Old Testament as we do in the New Testament, and that is the day of the Lord. Now, when you look at the day of the Lord, the phrase itself means the sovereignty of God. God's on his throne. God's sovereign. He's over all. But we also know that it talks about the end times, final judgment, revealing of God in his final judgment of the entire earth. But remember, he has brought judgment on the earth before with Noah. There's no question that that also was a day of the Lord. And the glory and the sovereignty of God was shown at creation, and that was a positive thing instead of a negative thing. But again, let's take a look at a chart that talks about how some of these prophets saw not only near-term events, but they saw mountaintops of far-term events, and which explain again the fact that God revealed to Zephaniah the day of the Lord, not just the coming destruction of Jerusalem and Judah, but also the destruction of the entire earth and the annihilation of all living things that we see in the book of Revelation. So let's take a look at that chart again just to remember how the Lord very often shows these prophets near term and far term. And here you can clearly see those mountaintops numbered 1 through 6 that these prophets could often see. And it's interesting that you see the fire on the earth, the destruction of the earth, and the day of the Lord. And we can certainly see how prophets very often saw these interesting mountaintops. It is also interesting to me that down in the valley, the church age is not seen so clearly. So Zephaniah writes to us around 630 or thereabouts, and he probably was a major influence on Josiah, who was the king of Judah and was the last good king, and there came 4 bad kings after Josiah. And he was the 16th king, Josiah was, and he was reigning for 31 years. However, he was brought into the kingdom as a young boy, so he really, as an adult, didn't reign that long. But they say he had a great deal of wisdom even at the age of 16, and already began some of the reforms in the nation. But unfortunately, they were not long-lived reforms, and perhaps when we're able to look from heaven down at this earth and the times of history, we might see some of the great revivals as times that were described in the Old Testament commentaries as too little, too late. However, if you're one of those people that were saved during one of these great revivals, or whether you're just a person that was saved, that's not too little and that's not too late. So there's some great things that come out of salvation, whether it's during a revival period or whether it's just salvation in everyday life. Nevertheless, we see this prophecy about not only the coming destruction of Jerusalem and Judah, but we also see this incredibly interesting prophecy about the day of the Lord. And I don't know about you, but I'm a little weary of all of the political fighting and of all of the doomsayers and all of the dishonesty and all of the terrible corruption. And if it was not for my grandchildren, I would certainly holler out, even so, come Lord Jesus, as you bring about the day of the Lord and get it over with. But it is good to know that in the end, God wins. He shows his sovereignty once again, as he has shown several times during the history of mankind, and he will again. And that's my thought for the day. God bless you and have a great day.